Joining us at the table is Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia of California, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee.
Congressman, it is great to see you. We have a lot to get to. So how soon do you think you end up moving on contempt, given that we know she's not going to comply? And two, what is your interest in her relative to your interest in Todd Blanche? Like, why not just make him come at this point?
Well, we're very interested in both. I mean, first, we are going to be launching those contempt proceedings fairly soon. At the end of the day, she had a subpoena in place to show up today. Chairman Comer sent that out. And just because she's not the attorney general right now, that's no excuse for her not to come in. She was the mastermind of this White House cover-up. The survivors have demanded that she give testimony, that she answer questions. For her not to show up, that is essentially, in my opinion, and the opinion of the committee, grounds for contempt. And so we've made it very clear. We've reached out to the DOJ, no response. She apparently has a private attorney, no response. And so Comer said earlier today that he's in contact with her attorney. He said, we're going to reschedule this hearing. Let's reschedule it. And if we don't hear back in the next couple of days, we're going to begin that contempt proceeding. It has to happen. People have to be held accountable for the laws that we pass in the Congress and the subpoenas that we put in place.
And Blanche?
As it relates to Blanche, I think it's funny you just showed this J.D. Vance clip. Todd Blanche today said that the Justice Department has no more files to release in compliance with the law, that they're done with the Epstein investigation, and that they're moving on. That is all complete BS, because those same documents are under a subpoena from the committee that doesn't have any exemptions as the transparency law might have put in place. And so we are still waiting for half of the documents that the DOJ has in their possession. We have not received. So it's a fantasy that somehow the Epstein investigation is either over or a hoax. What it is a cover-up.
Then send him a subpoena. I don't understand. He's the man in charge right now, acting or otherwise. His fingerprints are all over this stuff. From the very beginning, he was Trump's private lawyer. He was part of doing what private lawyers do with information and data like that.
And so if we were in the majority, we'd send the subpoena out.
I got that.
2 weeks ago.
Until you get there, the question becomes, what do you do to make it very clear to the American people the relative importance of all the players? Right. Because right now, in the panoply of information out there in the public ether, as Simone likes to say, on the streets, in other words, is the focus is Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is now and has always been a bit player in this. She is a piece Donald Trump put into play on the table, on the board, and watched it do until it was of no further use or service to him. Ask yourselves, who was the player telling Donald Trump to put that player in play? Those are the folks that you need to hold accountable. That's where Todd Blanche comes in. That's why I'm asking, are you sending him a subpoena as an acting attorney general of the United States?
So if we had the votes to subpoena Todd Blanche, we'd do it.
Did you have
today.
the votes for Pam Bondi?
We had the votes for Pam Bondi. We don't have the votes for Todd Blanche.
Okay, but here's my point. Would you still put them on the table regardless?
100%.
Okay.
Look, we have a plan for Mr. Blanche, and I remind folks, we have successfully forced Republicans to get multiple subpoenas while in the minority because we've got the right opportunity. We've pushed Republicans over. We've gotten folks like Nancy Mace or Marjorie Taylor Greene to join us. So we have an absolute plan on getting Todd Blanche to come in front of our committee. He has to come testify. And everything you just said, I agree with. Todd Blanche is a mastermind. He moved Ghislaine Maxwell with no answers as to why.
There you go.
He's Donald Trump's former personal lawyer. He's been very involved in the Epstein investigation. But don't let Pam Bondi off the hook. Because this is also a woman that's been lying to the American public, been lying, wouldn't even turn around and look at the survivors when she was testifying. And so we will hold Pam Bondi accountable. She must comply. And believe me, Todd Blanche is next. Yeah.
You know, I'm actually very interested in all this conversation about the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's abuse. And you've got the First Lady coming out doing her Epstein presser. Again, we still don't understand Melania. But she said there that the survivors should be given their day in a hearing on Capitol Hill. Well, Comer on April 10th talked about an Epstein survivor hearing. Take a listen.
There are some victims who are willing to come in. Most victims aren't, and I completely understand that. But we have always planned on having a hearing with Epstein victims once the depositions have been completed. So we've still got some more high-profile men that are coming in. Then I agree with the First Lady and appreciate what she said. We will have hearings.
Why do the survivors need to be hauled out in front of Congress to have hearings? We have heard from them. They are the reason that the Epstein files got released in the first place. Why? I heard the vice president today say that the powerful people need to speak up. Well, why can't we hear from the president? Why can't we hear from Howard Lutnick? Why can't that be public whenever you all get him to come testify? I don't understand this focus on the survivors.
Well, I think first the survivors actually came out and they were very clear, and I agree that the person that actually has a lot of power, Melania Trump, who has the ability to actually move maybe her husband or the Congress, she should turn to her husband and ask him and force him to release the rest of the files. She should turn to her husband and have him make sure that Todd Blanche or Pam Bondi come testify. So there's a lot that Melania can do besides coming out in a press conference that was unannounced and ask for the survivors to have a hearing. That's fine. What she needs to do is demand that all the Epstein files are released. Let's be very clear. The Epstein files have not been released to the public. Half of them are still in the possession of the DOJ. This is a huge cover-up, and the American public deserve, and the survivors deserve, to see the rest of the files.
There are more pictures of Melania with Epstein than Hillary Clinton with Epstein. They subpoenaed Hillary Clinton. So in my worldview in this, everybody is in the game here. And I think that's an important element. I know it's an important aspect of this for a lot of folks who are from the very beginning of this conversation, when it was just all this fanciful conspiracy that has now turned into something obviously much more painful for the victims involved, but certainly so much more substantive in terms of what we need to know, that when you're looking at this, when Democrats get the gavel for relevant committees, does that universe expand where everybody who we can see not one but 40, 50 conversations, emails, pictures, relationships with Mr. Epstein, have a conversation with the Congress and share with us what you did at the time, what you knew then, what you know now, so that we can begin to really, because I think that will also give the survivors a little bit more of what they need to hear and see as well, because everyone's pressing them, myself included. I'll be honest about this. Could you at least drop a name? Tell us a big name that you know, that is already in the files, that is there. It's just been redacted out. Open that pathway for that to happen without having to expose them further.
We have a long list of folks that we want to talk to. Everyone that we've been able to force Republicans to vote with us on, we've gotten. But we have a very long list, a day one list on subpoenas of a bunch of folks, and that includes a new precedent set by Republicans as it relates to presidents and first ladies.
I know we have to go, but tonight, Todd Blanche apparently told NBC that there's more work to do when it comes to Ms. Maxwell if we really want to understand everything that she knows.
Well, that better not include a pardon, and it certainly is really interesting that we still have no idea why she was moved, who gave the order, and why Todd Blanche is having secret meetings with her in this facility. And so we should trust nothing that Todd Blanche does as it relates to Ghislaine Maxwell. And the fact that she still is in this lower security facility when she should be back in that facility is a shame. And it's completely disrespectful to the survivors and all of the people that she herself abused and raped. It's disgusting.